Hi everybody, and welcome to another well-appointed desk journal setup. I'm going to go over a little bit of my August, how successful was I, and then I'll dive into sort of my September setup. And I kind of did a pre-setup for September because I was going to be out of town for the San Francisco Pen Show last week, so I wanted to just make sure that I had something done to talk to you all about. And then last thing, please forgive me for some nasty looking hands, but travel is really hard on manicures and I haven't had time to fix it up. So we're just gonna roll with it, okay? So we have all seen my planner for the year. This is my B6 size leather cover. The cover I got on Etsy is no longer available from this maker. They're no longer selling on Etsy, but there are plenty of people on Etsy who make custom sort of traveler's notebook style covers. So if that is something you are ever interested in, just a deep dive on Etsy will provide you with exactly what you need. This is of course my lovely Creeping Moon Draco binder clip that I use to keep my notebook laying flat, because if you notice, it's getting pretty chunky, and so it helps to get the pages to lay flat when I use my little clip. So we'll just backtrack a little bit real quickly to my August setup. And I just use random tabs every month, whichever color sort of inspires me. So for August this year, I made my own monthly calendar insert, and anyone who is a patron got the opportunity to download this for free as part of their patron membership. The laugh is that this was the first time that I had made these available, and I forgot to include the 31st of August, so everybody had to write that in. So if, it is just a B6, it's basically letter-sized paper that I could print out of my printer and tuck in here, and it has been so abused because I ended up putting my elastic right here to hold my notebook in that it's starting to make my little page fall out. So I need to re-glue that in. But I put one of the campaign marker tabs from Creeping Moon available on my website if you're interested, just to mark where my monthly calendar is, so I could see all of this yellow was Mercury retrograde, and let me tell you, kind of screwed up my month a little bit, but neither here nor there. So I showed a lot of these pages last month when I just had sort of my date stickers and date stickers and just washi tape and different bits and pieces. So this is sort of what it ends up looking like when I'm done. Basically a big old tragic mess, but I like it, and each of these little design elements helps me remember a particular day and what was going on. So they did kind of work out pretty nicely for me. So I did tip in a few things just by using an extra sheet of paper. It's just an A5 sheet of paper that I folded in half and then just taped in with washi tape. So if I needed an extra page, which would explain why it's getting extra chunky over here. But yeah, so like here's my pen show stuff and travel and some inks that I swatched. And when I was at the Denver airport, they actually had the Canine Airport Therapy Squad, and it was a bunch of dogs that you could pet and hang out with for a little while, for a little chill out time. And so I got to pet a dog named Leo, who is an Australian Shepherd, who was very sweet. There were several other dogs, but most of them were more interested in snacks than getting pet. So, you know, dogs. So I have a couple more days that I still need, you know, we have two more days in the month. But then that will lead into September. And so once again, I created my own calendar available to patrons. They'll have the download in the newsletter. And my theme this month is sort of library or academia or sort of dark academia. Here it's still too hot to really like fully embrace pumpkin spice latte and all things fall. So I figured that the dark academia gave it sort of a back to school vibe. A little bit of that beginning of the new school year kind of vibe. And I've been reading a lot of dark academia novels lately, so it seemed like a fair opportunity. So I've already printed mine out and pasted it in. I only have a black and white printer, but the artwork that I created is available in color. I am in the process of getting a color printer. So for October, I will have a color page, which I'm very excited about. So I went in here and just started adding things in. I did actually get the correct number of days this month. And just, again, a little bit of touching on getting into the witchy holiday season, the spooky season, as we like to call it. And I changed the back page of this. It's basically an 8.5 by 11 printed on both sides. And I realize now I need to round these corners because it really bothers me when they're pointy. But I'll just get my corner rounder out and do that. What was I saying? I got distracted by the rounded corners. Previously I had September, like August reflections, and I realized that I tend to not use the front of my month to do a reflections or like anything like that. So I've decided to use this as a notes page. So it can be anything from like things I need to do this month to just, like orders that I placed that I'm waiting on, those types of things. So I decided to just make it a notes page rather than like a reflections. And I tend to put any kind of reflections that I have at the end of the month, which is what this lovely folded sheet of paper back here is for, is a place to sort of include that for August. So like I said, I went ahead and started putting the like my little corner bits, little artwork in here. And this month I started playing with a clear rubber stamp set that I had, and I am not sure where I put it. I will probably have to track it down to get the information for it, but it was a small set. Honestly, I've had it for years. So it's one from Jet Pens. It's one of the like itty bitty sets. Hold on, I'll get the info. Okay, sorry about that. A lot of the stamp stuff I have in my lap desk, which was in the other room, and I just forgot to pull it. So the little stamps that I'm using are from the Splice stamp, my icon stamp, and it was number 15 that I was using. And I believe these are still available on Jet Pens. There are several different, and these are tiny. Like this is maybe about the size of a Post-it note, so like a 3 by 3 inch square. So they're little tiny flowers. And these were the ink colors that I was using, kind of leading into those fall colors. So Wild Honey, Fire Brick, and Frayed Burlap. These are all distress ink, so you can use fountain pens or brush pens or anything like that over them so they won't bleed. And those are available on my website too. Sorry, this is not supposed to be a sales pitch. We might have a cat though. So that's what these, like the little sort of onion flower kind of thing is from. And some of the washi tape that I'm using this time are from Creeping Moon, which is also which is also available on my website. I really love this Creeping Moon stuff, so I'm really excited to get to use it this month. It seems really appropriate. This was a set, again, from Jet Pens. It's from Bande, B-A-N-D-E, and these are like individual, it looks like washi tape, but it's like individual stickers, and then it is included with a roll of just regular washi. It was like a set of 2. So those are some of the washis, and then I have a few others that I picked that have been sitting in my collection for years, so I don't actually know where they came from, and none of them are labeled. So I don't actually know. So raid your stash. That's my advice. See what you've already got to kind of theme out your month if you want to do a library theme as well. I've kind of included more of the some of the sunflowers, which I was using last month, as I live next to Kansas, which is a lot of sunflowers. and started adding in some like mushrooms and things like that. And the stickers that I'm using this month all came from books I've been using. So my goal here is to just keep using what I already have. So one of them is the Botanist Sticker Anthology, and the other is the antiquarian sticker book, the Bibliophilia collection. So clearly I had exactly what I needed to do this. And I do add in a few pieces from this Fayware ephemera book, which included paper. And so a lot of the paper that I've been pulling came out of here as well. They have just like little sheets of sort of collagey looking paper, but it's actually largely fountain pen friendly, amazingly enough. And so I tend to tip that in because the backs are really pretty, and then I can just use the front to write. And then the rest of this is sort of washi style, sort of vintagey themed stickers. And so I kind of just cherry pick some out of here to use. And then I have all of these just like mismatched crap I have laying around because I've been collecting stickers and buying sticker sets and everything for so long. So some of these actually came out of the like Bibliophilia book. I will literally just tear out a page so that I can keep this in my my writing desk. I have like one of those little portable writing desks so that I don't have to have the whole books. I just go through and I'm like, okay, we're look for mushrooms, or we're going to look for, just anything that feels sort of early fall to me. I did have a few Sticky Club sheets. This one is sort of a little apothecary witchy kind of vibe, which I thought was kind of fun. But the colors really matched sort of everything else that I'm doing. And then this like large sheet of paper came out of one of the, what are those books called? I can't remember the company that makes them. Flow magazine did these like paper books that had all different kinds of paper. They have since gone out of business, but I have several of them. And instead of just leaving them on the shelf, I've decided I'm going to use them. So, but yeah, so I just started playing, and I've been having like clearly the stamps, this particular stamp pad does show through to the other side. So you're seeing the stamps from the other page. And this has as much to do with the paper that I'm using, which is Stology, as it does the actual, like the stamp pad ink, because it's permanent. It does kind of show through. But I had way too much fun making these little collages. I don't know that I left myself enough space to write, but it's been really fun. And I got through the 15th. So I will have to sit down and plan the rest of my pages. If anyone is interested in actually doing a plan with me, and I will sit here and pick out stickers and stick them in here, I would be happy to set that up. I mean, it could be just a YouTube live kind of thing or whatever. Just leave me a note in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. So anyway, the last thing was, of course, picking out all of my pens to use this month. So last month, these were my August colors, and I've been saving these. These are just pieces of coloring paper that we had laying around that just happened to be cut to size 3 by 5. Yes, I have a good life. So August was a lot of like browns and warm colors, and with September, I'm leaning into more greens because green is my favorite color, and then keeping some of the browns and warm colors. And if you guys can't see this, but Ollie is sitting here watching me do this. So I just have a little pause. I'm surprised they're not in frame. But anyway, I'm just totally amused. He thinks I'm talking to him. So this month I kept the Pentel sign brush in pale brown. Would you like to hold that for me, Ollie? Thank you. I appreciate it. And then I added the Marvy Le Pen in olive, which is since childhood one of my favorite pens. I absolutely love Marvy Le Pens. I know they're not great and anything, but they write really nice and I love the colors. So we have that one. And then I did the Copic multiliner in wine. I'm not sure it's going to get a ton of use. It does kind of stand out as sort of the oddball here, but I kind of wanted something that felt like kind of, sort of the, just a cooler color. So that's in there. I have 2 of the zebra mild liners. I have the pale brown and the pale green, which I have probably used several times in the past. And I will check and see if I have these now in the brush pen, which I just bought and did a review for yesterday, I think. So those will be used for different things. Mostly they end up, like I actually use them as highlighters. But if I have the brush pens, I might use them to write the day of the week, which is kind of what I like to do. And then right now, this is probably my day of the week, this in the pale brown. And this is the Tombow brush pen in number 228. I'm not sure what the actual color name is for that one. And then in fountain pens, oh, I did have the sign pen, which I just keep. I decided maybe just to have a plain black, just in case. And so that is what this is just a regular sign pen, which are fun to use. Holly, what do you think? Okay. And then I am going to continue to use my Sailor Pro Color, the 21. This is a Pro Color, which is normally $60, but I have a 21 karat gold nib on here, and I have the Cuico Caramel Brown, which is a carryover from August because I have actually really been enjoying using it. Funny story about this pen. I had it with me all weekend while I was in San Francisco, and I was talking with a gentleman at the little Starbucks that was in the hotel lobby, and he asked if he could see it, and I handed it over to him, and he enjoyed writing with it and everything. And as he was handing it back to me, we didn't make contact, and the pen hit the floor, the hard tile floor, point down. Now this is probably my own fault because when I hand pens to people I don't know, I tend to keep the cap. 1, it means they give the pen back, and 2, it means if they do try to steal my pen, which this guy wouldn't have, but it's just a habit I've had for a really long time. But if he did try to steal it, he'd have a pen with no cap. In this case, had I given it to him with the cap, he might have given it back to me with the cap on it, and the pen would have fallen tip down with the freaking lid on. But I didn't, and it landed tip down onto the hard floor and immediately turned the nib into this. So it was early in the morning, the show hadn't opened yet, and I bounced over to one of my favorite nib grinders and said, I have a problem. And the delightful Mike Masayamo said, sure, because he was just setting up and needed to make sure his machines were up and running and everything was set up properly. So he fixed my nib in about 5 minutes, and it is as good as it ever was. So he fixed it as only a pro could, and yeah, it's back to its good self. But boy, I had about 15 minutes of complete panic. But all is well. So that, and then the other pen I have is my mint green Nagasawa Sailor that I've been using as well, which is a carryover from August, which still has the Vinta Carnival color in it, which I did think is kind of a gray-green color that kind of worked along with all of these. I still think the Copic multiliner is a bit of an outlier, and I'm not sure it's going to get a lot of use. But I will leave it in my kit. And I know I've talked about this before, but the point of this is to reduce friction for myself when I'm needing to do sort of daily journaling and everything. I want to make it prettier than just slapping down the date, but at the same time, I don't want to make it so complicated that I am not actually, like I spend more time trying to decide what should I do next. So that's why this process has been created. I did this for myself. I don't know that it would work for anybody else. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But for me, this has really made a difference and has made me really love my planner. And mine is not a planner as much as it is a journal and like a logbook. So it really is what happened each day rather than what do I want to do this day. So, and my biggest shocker is that I started counting pages, just because, you know, I'm in September and this is all the paper that I have left in here. And I started wondering, am I going to have enough for the next 3 months? And upon counting, the answer to that question is no, not even a little bit. Potentially I can get September and October in here if I am very judicious with my page count. But as of November 1st, I'm going to have to get a new journal. And so I have raised the question to myself and to people around me, should I just start another Stology and just have it start on November 1st and go until I run out of pages again? Or do I get a smaller, like fewer pages and just do November and December so that I can start in a new Stology in January? Although I suspect that I'm going to run into the same problem next year in that I will use just a few too many pages and will not have enough for a full year. So what's your opinion? Is it okay to start in the middle of the end of the year, or are you a start on January 1 kind of person? So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this, and please let me know if you would like an actual plan with me, because if so, I can set that up for sometime next week maybe. Just let me know. And thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.